Greetings and welcome back to the Arnold or Stallone podcast. Yes, I just stumbled that, and you know what? We're not doing any edits, so I'm going to go ahead and roll along with it. I am your host, Tim, and I'd like to welcome my co-host, Darren.
Hello, Tim.
How you doing today, Darren?
I'm doing great.
I'd like to welcome you all back. This is episode 17 of the Arnold and Stallone podcast. I'm pretty impressed that we've made it this far. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the intros as far as if you know what if you've listened in the past, you kind of know what we're talking about. I will do a quickie. You know, we're 80s fans and we want to watch Arnold and Stallone movies, and we're going to talk about them, basically, is that. And
yes, we've sort of decided these two pinnacles of action stars are going to be our podcast for a while, and we're going to see where this sort of tournament of champions leads us. We're sort of going one by one. We're trying to pair up these great titans of movies and just sort of not necessarily definitively pick one, but one will come out with the winner, and the other one will come out with maybe a different winner.
Yeah, you know, we're not here debating. This isn't a debate or trying to convince one another. Like Darren says, we're just both huge fans, and you know, when this is all said and done, we will know who we are a bigger fan of, and there's no right or wrongs.
And we have no idea. We're trying to do this scientifically to see who we are actually a bigger fan of, and we don't know.
Yeah, so I'd say we're almost about halfway through. You know, we looking ahead. Obviously, there's some really good ones to come, but we're almost halfway there. Mm-hmm. So
yes,
yeah,
and this is very scientific, by the way.
Yeah. There's no predetermined, so, but yeah. And so in that vein, this is episode 17. And today we're going to discuss two really good ones, 1989's Tango and Cash on the Stallone side. And I believe it's 1992 for the Arnold side, which would be Kindergarten Cop. So both really good movies that I've
big movies too. They both were very successful and made a lot of money, and everybody's heard of them. Yeah,
so that's 1990, just for those of you keeping score at home. But we're going to start off with Tango and Cash from 1989, and I'm going to go ahead and give us the Rotten Tomato score on that, which for the critics is 31%.
Boo.
Yeah, that's the audience is still 52%, which.
Wow.
Low. Hey.
I guess you got to take everybody's opinion on that one.
Yeah. You know, everybody has different opinions on different things they like. And, you know, I just remember this movie coming out in the theaters. My parents had a very strict rated R movie ban on me at this time and wasn't able to see it in the theaters. But I, of course, as we've discussed many, many times, I made my way to the local video store and rented this movie, and I think we can't go on without saying that it also stars Kurt Russell.
The great Kurt Russell.
Yeah. And Jack Palance is in this, Terry Hatcher, James Wong, so there's really...
James Wong's probably been in a million movies, right?
I think he's been credited with like over, I saw it somewhere and I don't want to say it because I could be wrong, but yes, it's definitely, he's been in over 100 movies credits.
It's crazy how many movies that he's been in. Great movies too.
You're right, yeah.
He was in the Jack Nicholson the one where he's in L.A. in the water. What's that movie called? Oh, man, I can't believe my mind's blanking on that one. But it's just, amazing movies that are just huge, American, cultural movies. He's been in so many. It's Chinatown. I'm sorry.
Chinatown. Okay.
The Chinatown.
Yeah.
My mind just blanked.
See, mine was completely. I had no idea where.
But and he's been in Blade Runner and a million other movies.
Not to mention TV credits. TV
shows. He was on Seinfeld.
Cartwright.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Wayne's World 2. He was Tia Kerr's dad in Wayne's World 2.
Right, yeah.
He's
a hilarious actor.
Yeah.
A great
Balls
actor.
of Fury. He was in that one. So
anyways.
But yeah, no, so we're not here talking about Balls of Fury. I'm sure that'll come around in the future, but
today we are talking about Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash.
So, yeah, and so fun fact for Tango and Cash, sounds like the great Kurt Russell was offered the role in a Lethal Weapon and turned it down.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, it went to Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And then he kind of took the Riggs character and how he would have played Riggs.
Yeah.
And turned it into Tango.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah. So it's kind of a Riggs type character, you know? And you think about it, anybody that could have played Riggs other than Mel Gibson, I would have said Kurt Russell.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he had the hair.
The hair, the swagger, everything. You know, they both had that at the same time. Then Mel Gibson Kurt Russell was offered the role of Bird on a Wire, which was a movie with Goldie Hawn, and that would have been him and Goldie Hawn working together.
Yeah.
But that he couldn't do it, so that went to Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, that's right.
And then, of course, Mel Gibson and Kurt Russell later got together and made a movie called Tequila Sunrise, which is with Michelle Pfeiffer, which is a really good movie.
I don't think I've ever saw that one.
Oh, it's a good one.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
They play like friends, and then they are on opposite sides, but it's, one of those things where they're just,
Nice.
So, great movie. Anyway, so that's kind of a little bit of sort of some Tango and Cash sort of lore, so to speak. We'll get into more of it as we get into the episode here. So, so we kind of start off. We see they're kind of cruising down the road, and Stallone's chasing a big diesel gas truck.
Yeah, the tanker truck.
The big tanker truck.
Yeah.
And he's on the radio, and there's helicopters, and they're telling him, "Hey man, the radio's telling him to back off. This, you got to back off. You're out of your jurisdiction."
Yep, the famous jurisdiction
Your jurisdiction's done.
Yep.
And so of course he gets back on there. He doesn't need backup. No need for backup. This is his caller.
Yeah. I've been on this case for 3 months.
Yeah, he can't let her go now. Can't let the highway patrol take over.
Yep.
And let's, then of course transfer the guy to his
right.
jurisdiction, but we got to keep going. So he's in a sporty Cadillac, kind of I can't remember exactly what Cadillac, but it's kind of like a souped up Cadillac, and he rips past it and does a Brody and jumps out in the middle of the road. And of course, now he goes into his pocket to pull out what you think, of course, it's Sylvester Stallone,
right.
and pulls out this little tiny 2-inch little gun, which I think is kind of funny. I think I love that they did that, instead
for sure.
That's how what they do, they call that about expectations or whatever they call that. Like, you do what's opposite of what you expect.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, they knew how to do it back then,
yeah.
right? Because here he pulls out this little tiny gun, and so he quips, starts shooting at a gas truck, of course, which is
right. I don't recommend that bit.
So shooting at the gas truck, and finally puts one in the radiator, and the truck comes to a stop, and the two guys go flying out the front and land right in front of him, and the truck stops. Two seconds from him.
Just like, okay, I've never driven a tanker. I've driven a big rig.
Oh, that's right. We have an expert right here. So, you think you could have been stopped with a 357 and you would have
I think
flown out?
Well, the thing that sticks out most to me about this scene is the trailer didn't jackknife, or the trailer didn't come skidding, because how fast he locked those brakes up and how fast that truck came, loaded full of fuel, because when you think of fuel, it's got that ebb
Slosh.
and flow.
Right. Yeah.
And I would have expected the trailer to at least move, but nope, the whole thing came to a nice precision stop, about, as Darren says, inches away from Stallone, where the two, the driver and the passenger, just happened to crash through the windshield.
It's like the 80s Mack truck with the flat nose. It doesn't have the big front. Like
the old pop-up cab.
Yeah, so... and so they go flying out and they land. And anyway, so all of a sudden, all the, CHP, and everybody's on scene. And next thing you know, his boss shows up. And of course, that is the great Jeffrey Lewis. Jeffrey Lewis, as we all know, is dad to Juliette Lewis, right? And of course, he has been in hundreds of Clint Eastwood movies, many, many Clint Eastwood movies. He was one of, Clint Eastwood's buddies. He was in Any Which Way But Loose. Lots of Clint Eastwood movies. Look him up. And TV and a million other things, So they can't find, so they're looking for some drugs, apparently. Can't find the drugs. The cocaine is apparently in there, but all they can find is gasoline. So the cops start harassing the other cop, which I don't know if that actually happens, but anyways, the state troopers start laughing at him, calling him a city guy, and you're out of your jurisdiction,
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, and then they yell, "Who do you think you are, Rambo?"
Yeah.
And of course he goes, "Rambo is a pussy."
Yeah.
And shoots the gas truck for the fourth time.
Yeah. He shoots the tanker side.
Shoots the train. Yeah, the actual
trailer.
The trailer with the gas in it. But luckily, a bunch of cocaine flows out like sugar. And I don't know if tightly packed cocaine would flow like that.
You're
but
right. Yeah. For movie's sake, sure.
For movie's sake, we have to have a good visual. And but luckily that he didn't kill everybody.
Right, and he gets the last word, and he puts his hand down and grabs a handful, and then anyone want to get high?
Yeah, is it snowing in Arizona or California, whatever the hell he is? So they, next thing you know, we look over and we introduce the great Jack Palance. So he is the main bad guy, and he's upset that all these that these guys are Tango and Cash are sort of taking over and he's the main bad guy. So, and he's talking to his underlings, which is of course his sort of two main under guys.
Yeah.
And, so next thing you know, we go and we find, we're introduced to the Kurt Russell, the Cash character.
Yep.
And he is, cruising around, and, he's on a patrol or some sort of investigation or something like that. Or no, I'm sorry. He just goes home.
Yeah, he
just goes home.
Yeah.
He's going home. He opens the door. Everything's cool. All of a sudden he's looking in the window or the mirror, I'm sorry. And, a hitman wants to, shoots him through the window, but luckily he's got he's wearing a vest. He's wearing a vest.
Yeah.
So he jumps up, chases after him, and we have a pretty cool chase fight scene through a parking garage. We get to see some 80s boobies.
Yeah. I always love 80s movies because he's just all of a sudden the car that he's chasing the guy, and then the chick pops up and she's just fully just bare tits out in the air, and the other guy. I'm thinking, I love the 80s because who's going to be having sex in a parking garage at let's say 2:00 in the afternoon?
Totally. It's
not like it's the middle of the night.
It's not 2 a.m. and the bar just got out. You know what I mean?
It's like because Kurt Russell takes this guy's car, loading gifts into it, and
so
please, I'm commandeering your car, and then
the classic commandeering of the car,
and just smashes the shit out of it,
and just and it's of course it's the funny Russian guy, so we it's funny. It's not like it's it's a Russian guy, so we don't really mind that much.
I love it. He's running after him the whole time too. Still a handful of presents. Hey, my car. But I'm all for the 80s booby.
Yeah, and so of course he's got the cool 80s Toyota trucks, flying around, and we're still on the 80s Toyota, kind of like the Back to the Future Toyota. And anyway, so it gets crushed, and he kind of pops in there and says, you're under arrest, whatever. And so then we kind of see the difference between the Sylvester Stallone, the Tango, and the Cash, which is the rich cop, poor cop.
Right.
And this is a cop buddy movie, and so we're kind of seeing the differences. It's almost like the it's we got the rich cop, and he's in the really high end precinct, and he's doing his
right, the Beverly Hills side.
Yeah, he's doing the taxes, and he's worried about his investments.
Yeah,
he's checking
the
with his broker.
Armani suits and stuff.
and then we got the poor cop, which is Cash, and he's in like the pure like 80s classic, stereotypical cop where you just got, or a precinct where you just got bad guys everywhere in sitting next to the office or whatever. He's got offices and chairs and bad guys everywhere. And
I love it when they're riding after he catches the guy. He's at the station, and he's like taking, showing that he had the vest on, and he takes his shirt and puts his finger through the bulge hole. And he's like, "Oh man, this cost me $9."
Yeah, totally.
So you see the contrast between the.
He's just he's one's champagne and one's beer. You know, and. So they're very much trying to push this anyways. So we get so then Tango talks to the great Terry Hatcher, and she comes over, and he's explaining to her, and they're kind of going back and forth, and it winds up being his sister. So she's talking to him about whatever they're talking about.
Which I thought it was kind of cool that they didn't introduce that right off the bat. You think, are they together, or are they and so which plays into it a little more into the movie, but at this time you don't know who is, because I was watching it with my wife, and she's like, "Is that his girlfriend?" And I'm like, "No, it's his sister." But
so at this moment you don't. They're talking about living conditions or something like that.
Yeah, because she wants to tour like with a dance group or something.
And so you're thinking it's her boyfriend or something at the time. So, and so they go and
I think after that's when we get Kurt Russell's side, where they're trying to like, oh, your perp's not talking, and he doesn't speak English, and
yes, and so Kurt Russell decides he's gonna get the answers out of this guy, and he's pretending not to speak English, even though the guy spoke English to him. So he's going to like beat him up a little bit, and just kind of try to get the answers out. And finally, puts a chair on his neck or something like that. And the guy,
classic '80s interrogation,
torture. Or whatever, it's like you get away with it when you were a cop back then, And so he finds out that you're gonna, that there's gonna be some sort of information dropped off at a certain time, and he shows up at this abandoned warehouse to try to, and of course Tango is also at this abandoned warehouse because he's gotten some information that there's going to be something going down here, and they're kind of wandering around. They're trying to figure out what's going on, and they run into each other, and they sort of have this standoff where they both have guns at each other, and one doesn't really outdo the other. It's sort of like 50-50, you know, and so they all of a sudden they find this dead cop sitting there, and they're like, "Uh-oh, this doesn't look good." He's tied up to a thing, and all of a sudden it's looking like a setup. Next thing you know, cops come in from everywhere, and they're with the IA, Maternal Affairs,
so FBI,
and there's all this, and they're like, "Okay, you guys are you're in trouble," and it turned. Oh, and we should say before this, when Kurt Russell was back at his desk earlier, he goes, "Hey, who was messing with my gun, my backup gun?" And apparently keeps it in his desk. He's saying something's messing. And then they find his backup gun at the scene of the crime. So there's a huge trial. Huge trial happens, and lots of witnesses, and they bunch of fake evidence, and of course they're kind of going like, what's going on? They can't figure out, and so they go into this interrogation room together, and they don't really like each other, but they realize that
they're kind of in this together.
They're in this together, so we got to work together, or we're gonna be screwed. Even though they don't like each other because they're.
They're both trying to, because I love too when they meet each other back at the warehouse, when they're like, "Ooh, I hear you're the second best cop in LA," and the other one's like, "Yeah, I heard the same thing about you."
Right, they're both trying to be the number one cop.
So there's that competitive edge to start with.
Right.
But
so they wind up
It's like a plea bargain,
They try to plea bargain, and so he talks him into plea bargain, and so they take that, and
it's like 18 months at a minimum security.
They're just going to do some like club fed kind of thing where it's just no big deal, and they'll be in and out. And
the gym opens at 8. You can get in there early. It's all Kurt Russell's all Josh and Stallone.
So they're going back and forth, and they're doing their chemistry back and forth, which they have great chemistry in this movie. It's just, and that's what makes this movie so great. Is the chemistry between the two. It's awesome.
I was going to save this for later, but I wish they would have done more together.
I was going to say it later too.
You just can't get over the like you said, the chemistry is phenomenal.
Yeah. So they're going back and forth, and they decide that, and so they take the plea bargain. They're just going to go to Club Fed, and instead they wind up going to Supermax, and they head to this like Supermax, like something out of like Shawshank Redemption or something. It's some sort of like 1930s, like just
like Alcatraz.
It's crazy. It's just some sort of crazy prison.
Litter raining down on them. Their cells on fire, and
they're literally saying like, "I put half these guys in here." So they're in the shower, which is talking.
That's right. Yeah, you get to see both their butts. So if you're looking for that,
so you get a little keep the ladies interested, and maybe a few guys. But so they wind up talking about how they're going to get out of this thing and what happened to them. And
trying to figure who could have done this to us.
Who could have done this to us? And so next thing you know, he drops the soap, and he goes, "Hey, whoa, what are you trying to do there?" And he's like, "Hey, I just dropped the soap," and so they're kind of going back and forth, and they're doing their thing, and they start calling each other like tiny and
Pee-wee. Looks like you need all the you get their Pee-wee.
Yeah, tiny and stuff. It's good old fashioned man. Busting each other's balls.
Homoerotic insults.
It's classic. I love it. So, right. So they, so that they're, next thing you know, Tango, Stallone, winds up being roommates with Clint Howard. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know who Clint Howard is, he is Ron Howard's brother. Yep. And Clint Howard has been in lots of movies. Yeah, he's
been in a lot of stuff too.
Lots of movies.
He was in Seinfeld as well too.
He was the crazy killer in Seinfeld. Yeah. He was the radar guy in Austin Powers. And that everybody might know that, Yeah. So he was the one that talks about Big Boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, he's in with Ron Howard. His brother, Clint Howard. And, and of course he just plays this crazy little character. I mean,
it's like, that's all he really plays is either just the crazy killer or
he's great in everything that he does. So it's just you got some great cast in this movie. And, so they next thing you know, they get kidnapped in the middle of the night. Guys grab them, wrap them up, pull them out of their cells, start kick the crap out of them, and throw them in the middle of this arena. And they start telling them they're going to die. Oh, and we should say before that, as they're walking in, one of the convicts talking to Tango, and he said, Tango goes, "I know you. I loved you in Conan the Barbarian."
Yeah,
which of course is the back and forth between Schwarzenegger and Stallone now is they're putting little jabs into their movies to try to bust each other in the a little bit, and
we should say,
is awesome.
This guy was the guy driving the semi in the beginning. That's Stallone. And
that's Stallone.
This guy, I want to find his name because he had that chin, big chin. He was in a horrible B movie called Samurai Cop.
Okay.
He had done a lot of B movies, but and that's I cannot find his name.
Oh, here it is. It is Robert Zadar.
That's right. Yes, Robert Zadar.
Robert Zadar.
Yes.
So so he grabs him, smashes his face up against the bars as they're coming in, and so next thing you know, now they're we're back into the sort of the pit almost. They're down there, and this guy comes out, and they're all gonna kick his butt. They're all gonna kick Tango and Cash's butt. The bunch of prisoners, And of course we have this an English guy who's working for Palance, who is Byron James, or Brian James. Is that his name? Or
I would say Brion.
Byron.
Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Yeah,
that's right. Yes.
So, and he's been in another just movies upon movies upon movies. This guy, yeah, he's been in everything as well. Great actor. He's working for Palance, and he's his number one hitman. Okay, and he's from England, and he's gonna cut his throat, and Kurt Russell yells, "I want an American to kill me."
Yeah.
I always thought that was awesome. Like, don't let this limey guy kill me. I want an American to kill me.
Yeah.
I always thought that was hilarious. So, so they wind up tying him. They kind of beat the crap out of him, and they tie him up, sort of legs chained and shackled, and they're lowering him down into this vat of whatever, and it's electrified. They got electrical shock or whatever in
the
there.
Great late 80s oversimplification of killing somebody. Nope. I'm going to assume my plan was to fruition.
So they slowly lower one down into this vat of whatever, and he gets electrocuted for a minute, and then they pull him up, and then the other one gets lowered, and then he gets electrocuted, and it kind of goes back and forth. And next thing you know, they're saved by Kurt Russell's old boss, Cash's ex,
like his
CO or something like that. And now he's the assistant warden, and he tells him, "Man, you guys are in trouble. You messed up. You really pissed off the wrong people, and but we're gonna do what we can to get you out of here." So he creates an escape plan and tells Cash about this escape plan in Tango, and they kind of get this map, and they all start to Tango's not sure. He's uncertain because he's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And Cash is like, dude, this is it. This is our only shot. We're
gonna die if we stay in here.
So he's like, So they kind of go back and forth, and Tango finally says, "Nope, I'm not going." So Cash says, "I'm going." So he takes off, and he's trying to escape, and makes it to this sort of the plan that they had, go through this ventilation system and whatever. And he gets up there, and all of a sudden he sees his friend dead. They slide his dead friend down to him or whatever, and the guy whose plan it was, he's dead. So he tries to quick backtrack, but he can't because a fan is now on, and he's going to chop him into little bits. So so he thinks and it's kind of sliding. He's being sucked towards this fan or whatever.
Yeah, it's like on a weird incline.
Yeah,
you can't
get off.
Which is funny because then you get the shovel head guy or the shovel chin guy comes along with the guards. The opposite direction. So Tango's, like you said, Cash is stuck between, which always made me laugh because why would a inmate be working with the guards
even as a kid, I thought that was, it's like one or the other, man. Like,
right, yeah.
Don't have why would the
and
prisoner be leading the guards? Like,
just like you should be in your cell. And so that
right.
part.
If you got corrupt guards, you got corrupt guards. Why are you adding the...
At least there'd be some sort of deniability that if something went wrong because there's no inmate along with them. But
totally, just let the inmates do it. All the guards look away. I mean, that would make more sense.
Yeah. So I tried not to critique too hard some of these older movies, but that part always, like you said, even watching it for the first time, did not make sense to me.
As a kid, I was like, that part didn't make sense. So, anyways, so of course. He's being sucked to the fan, and next thing you know, spoiler alert, Tango shows up with a giant metal steel bar and then jams it into the fan blades. And
gets to stop just enough to crawl through.
Yeah, and then it ping, starts back up, so they're able to escape.
Yeah,
and they're trying. So now they're jumping from rooftop to rooftop on the prison, and they're jumping from here to there and here to there, and they've got one last sort of jump, and they decide. But it's an energized power line. And so they decide that if they use their belts and wrap it around the power line, they can sort of zip line down this power line as long as they let go before they touch the ground, you know? And so, of course, I remember It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia talks about this scene, and that's how they learned about electricity.
Yeah, I know, it's so fun.
Because I remember Max they did it in Tango and Cash.
Well, it's got to be true.
It's got to be true.
And I love it too because when they get there and Kurt Russell's explaining the to Tango what they're doing. And Tango's like, well, I hate electricity. And he's like, well, as long as you don't touch anything, we should be fine. Right?
Right.
He's like, I don't know anything about electricity. Like,
and they're kind of, they're not even sure. So Cash jumps out, grabs the thing and slides down. Tango starts to run, and giant jaw dude grabs him at the last second. Or he actually hits him with a chain, with a hook on it, and catches him. And so he goes down. So he's got this chain wrapped around his leg, and the hook's digging into his leg, and he's pulling really hard. And Cash is like, what's going on? And so Tango then has to fight it out with this guy. And they have a huge fight, and he does some kind of a spin kick or something and kicks him back into the
like the
transformers or something. And he grabs a hold of both sides and just lights up.
Fireworks show.
Done. He's gone. So,
even that big jaw can't save him.
So, and so they, they kind of, so then, Tango jumps onto the thing and he slides down, and they make it, even though the fall just from the power line is just like 50 feet or 40 feet or something like that. I don't know. But so, and
it's like Cash lands on his back.
Yeah, they both land like right on their back, and they're just kind of like, oh, all right, I'm good though. And so they decide, okay, well, we're going to go different directions. And if you need, just look up this person at this place, just look, here's a name.
Yeah.
If you need to find me, just look for this person at this place.
Ask this person and ask for me.
Yeah. And boom, gone. And so they both go their different directions. And so, so Tango, Cash, the first thing he does is he goes to see Q. His version of Q, right? I mean, this guy's
Owen.
Yeah,
no, that's funny. That's the exact same thing I thought too. It's like, oh, the American Q.
The American Q. Like he is. I don't know that the LAPD has their own Q office, but
which, I mean, to kind of sidetrack a little bit is this. This is a part two that kind of just now watching it didn't really stick well with me because they just broke out of prison, and so he's not going to go. And I'm sure it's his friend. I get that, but he's going to go literally walking into the police department,
and talking, Q branch,
to the Q branch to get some. Like, oh, do you have a gun? Yeah, here, take a gun. Here's some clothes. Here's this. Here's that.
And luckily, these guys are the right size too. I mean, luckily,
hey, we got the same taste in clothes.
Luckily, we got the same waist size.
Right, so, and this guy's like visually shorter and smaller
and tiny. Yes.
Yeah, and so that it just didn't. I don't know. Like I say, I don't hold too much credibility as far as you got to suspend your disbelief, but that didn't really stick with me. Like, how's he? Or even both these guys.
Well, it's definitely not The Fugitive.
No, so. That's definitely. I mean, they just broke out of prison. The next day, where's Stang or Cash? Oh, he was downstairs talking to
Owen. Yeah, he's down there getting a new.
Okay.
He's getting his 45 and
as long as he gave him a gun and some fresh pair of pants, and we're good. Oh yeah, no, okay, good.
Did he give him a leather jacket though? Because it's gonna be a little chilly out there.
No shades. You don't get shades.
But he does give him a killer pair of gun boots. So Q gives.
That's right. I think because
he gives him a pair of gun boots.
That's how he got at the very beginning when we were introduced to Cash.
Yes,
he had the shotgun boot.
The shotgun boot. Yes, that's how he was able to save himself from the assassin.
So don't worry, that may come in again later.
So he gets his boots and talks to Q, and he takes off. So then Tango goes, of course, to one of the guys who lied in the trial and gets him to confess. And so then Cash goes to another guy who created a bunch of fake
the
voice imaging and kind of what we would call deep fakes nowadays. He created those, and so Cash gets him to admit that he created these and who put him up to it. And
he just so happened to have it recorded the phone conversation.
So he's got everything. So they're going to be able to clear themselves, no problem.
Right.
Once they get pallets.
Really, as long as you have the tape. Oh, okay, good. It's like no. So now he wants to go get back. So Cash wants to get back in touch with with Tango.
With Tango. So he goes so he goes to this place that Tango told him to go to, and it winds up being a strip club where no one actually gets naked.
Right. And that was another question the wife asked me. Is she a stripper? I'm like, well, it kind of looked like a strip club. It didn't look like a seedy strip club, but yeah,
it wasn't even burlesque.
Right. I'm like, she doesn't get naked, so I don't know if I would.
And it was rated R.
Yeah.
So.
And we've already seen titties up to this point.
Confusing.
And we see.
I get why Terry Hatcher is like, no, not for this movie. Mm-hmm. I need way more, because she does eventually,
right?
And we'll talk about that some other day, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I mean, not to get too far up ahead, because then we see titties in the dressing room, but
right.
So it's not like there's that.
But it just reminded me of the classic PG-13 strip club where everybody gets down to like a G string and then spins around and then that's it.
Yeah.
It's the.
Yeah,
because I think if they would have had PG-13, did they have PG-13? I can't remember. If
the 89, they may have just started. Actually, because European Vacation was PG-13.
Right. Yes, you're right.
And that had more tits in it than the first one, which was R.
Yeah, so it's strange that this wasn't PG-13. Strange that it's R.
I think because the language. Maybe. Language is another big thing that makes a movie R without blood and stuff.
And they talk about FUBAR, and I think that might be, and you have to keep FUBAR in, right? And so we wind up that FUBAR, of course, means effed up beyond all recognition, right? And it's a military term, and it's a, So anyway, so he goes to the strip club, asks the bartender for a name. The bartender has no idea who he's talking about, but luckily, even over the talking, the music, the dancing, she hears that he asks this bartender about one strange name, and she instantly gets the code word.
Right. Which is funny because the stage is so much higher above the bar. And as Darren says, she's dancing. And as luck would have it, she was on the stage at the time.
Yes, at the exact moment when he asks.
And this place is packed. This is like Night at the Roxbury packed, And yes, so she hears him say this like maybe twice, maybe 3 times he says this name. Yeah. And, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Meet me in the back.
Meet me in the back. That's me.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm got to get a hold of Tango. She says, okay, well, let's get out of here. Well, we can't because there's cops everywhere looking for me. I can't get out of here. There's cops everywhere.
As luck would have it, as he walks in 5 minutes later, then the place is just swarmed with cops slowly walking in.
Yeah, so cops are out looking for him apparently at the strip club. So of course he does what any man would do. He goes in full drag.
Yep.
And so it is actually a very, very funny scene.
Yeah.
I like Kurt Russell in drag is hilarious.
Which is funny. I think
most of the time is not that funny a guy in drag, but it actually is. It's funny. So
which I think too we to kind of give a little more detail on this is he's talking to Terry Hatcher with topless women walking all around him, and she's like, I have an idea, where one of the other guys comes in with a leather jacket on, and Tango goes, what's your size? And then it cuts to the alley where the cops are milling around, and then you see the classic full leather outfit with a
helmet and face shield.
And
you can't say him.
I wonder who that is.
Right. You think it's Cash, because obviously
stop her, pull the helmet off, and she's just like, what? Gets on the motorbike and it's like, are you coming? Whatever, Yolanda.
Sweetie. Yeah. And
then that's the slow pan up, and
and
there
Kurt
it is.
Russell is his
full on drag. And I think I agree. He did not look horrible. I mean,
it just was funny because he plays it off good. He flicks a cigarette butt at the cop and stuff, and it's clear. It's actually a funny scene.
It is because then he's walking out and the cops grabs him and it's like, "What are you, a yoga instructor or something?" And she's all, "Hey, hands off my woman or whatever."
My woman. It's good. So we skip to back to Tango, right? And he's trying to get back because he knows he's got to talk to his sister, get a change of clothes, and he's got to get back. So he sneaks back to his sister's house. Well, as he gets there, we see Kurt Russell, Cash, and the sister on a couch, right? And she's on top of him. You can't see Kurt Russell, but you see her sort of from the waist up, so to speak, and you're seeing it from over the top of the the couch, and you can't really see what's going on. But it's clearly they're having some intercourse.
Right,
going
that's
on
how they're
here.
trying to frame it here. That
Clearly this is like some serious intercourse going on. So Tango, of course, is upset, flies in, and she was actually just trying to give him a back massage because he had messed up his back from falling off of the
jumping off the 50-foot drop from the prison
from the power line. So the all of a sudden, mistaken. It's a classic Three's Company. It's like
which he sees the guy leering at the.
Then they see a guy leering at the window.
Yeah,
yes.
at the screen door. And that's when he jumps over the couch.
Right, and it's Jeffrey Lewis.
Yeah.
His boss. So every cop in the planet's looking for these two guys. Jeffrey Lewis, who's the captain of the Beverly Hills Police Department or whatever he is.
Yeah. He knows exactly where he is.
He's exactly where he is. And the FBI isn't going to... Anyways, so he just shows up and give him a quick, hey, you need to...
The classic, you got 24 hours to clear your name.
Right, yeah. The clock's ticking. So we got 24 hours.
There's nothing else I can do. It's like you've already, I guess, done enough.
You're a captain of the police department. You don't think you can pull a couple more strings or something?
Right.
But
he gives us, the who, what, where. This is the guy doing it. This is where he's at. And this is, why he's doing it type of thing.
Gives us some exposition.
Yeah.
And
detective exposition over there.
So they realize what's going on. And so so of course Kurt Russell keeps hitting on his sister, and he goes, maybe we can go out sometime, and this and that, and of course Tango's not happy with Cash hitting on his sister, so they kind of go back and forth a little bit, and so then they find the English guy. And they do the classic. They put a grenade in his mouth and duct tape him to a telephone pole.
I think before that they hang him upside down over.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. They torch him a little bit and it's not working. And they hang him upside down and he's like, toss off. I don't,
fuck off.
Fuck off.
I love the view up here.
I don't give a toss. Yeah. I love English swearing.
Yeah, it's so great.
It's awesome. So, and so he. So it's not working. So they go, let's go to plan B, right? Plan A ain't working. Here goes to plan B.
Plan B.
So plan B is to duct tape him to a flagpole on top of a building and put a grenade in his mouth. And he goes, this is plan B? This is crazy. You're nuts, man.
Yeah.
And they kind of go back and forth and they're like, you're nuts. And he's like, no, I got to,
I got nothing to lose. This guy's taking everything away.
I got to do it. We're going to kill him. And so he pulls the pin and, guy all of a sudden... squeals like a pig, just
lets it all flow out.
Tells him the whole story,
unburdens his soul,
and he goes, "Yeah, Plan B, bad cop, bad cop,
or bad cop, worst cop,
or bad cop, worst cop."
Yeah,
sorry, bad cop, worst cop. Yes, so their Plan B was bad cop, worst cop, and so they know what to do now. They know who to go get. They know it's Palance and his sort of henchman guys and where he's at and everything. So. Now they got to go back to Q, right? Yep. So they head back to Q, and they say, you see this giant sort of, looks like kind of a Chevy Silverado that's been modified heavily.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was a like a Suburban type or just a truck with a canopy.
Yeah, it looked like a canopy that's been...
Yeah, but it was modified 4 ways from Sunday. Just jacked up, huge tires and machine guns.
Right, yeah. It looks like a Silverado or something. And so they, and of course he goes, what is this? And Cash goes, that is an RV from hell.
RV from hell.
And I just love how they didn't really know what to call him back then, because remember in Goonies, he's calling it an ORV. ORV, bullet holes.
Yeah.
And now they're calling it an RV, which is clearly not an RV. We know what an RV is, and that ain't an RV.
No.
And so SUV actually hadn't even come out at that point.
No
SUV was not even really a thing at that point
in
American lexicon. So it was, we didn't still not know what to call something other than just a car and a truck. We were confused in the 80s. Anyway, so now they got to head to the headquarters and they kind of stand up on this sort of rocky outcropping and they sort of have this heart-to-heart a little bit.
Yeah.
And they well, before that they gear up. They get all the gear, like the classic gear up scene. We got to get the guns, we get this.
Love it every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you can't not have the greatest gear up scene.
Yeah.
It's so much fun watching guys just load the shit.
I mean, it's not as good as like Raw Deal or anything, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's Commando.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
Yeah.
And so they load them up and they get in the thing, and it's a badass truck, and they take off. And they get on this rocky outcropping, and they sort of have a man-to-man, and he's like, I don't mind if you. It's not that I don't mind anything about you personally. I just don't want my sister dating a cop.
Yeah, I don't want to get that 3 a.m. phone call saying that your husband's been killed.
Yeah, and it kind of get a little bit of a tone shift in the movie, a little bit, but you know, and they're like, well, don't worry, that ain't going to happen to me, and,
Kurt Russell's like, well, I promise you, if you don't make it, I'm still going to try to date your sister.
If you don't make it, I'm going to date your sister, which is, it's kind of becoming a funny kind of through line, and so anyway, so they go, all right, this is it. And they head down into this sort of rock quarry and have this sort of crazy, one of the best action scenes. Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the last great sort of 80s action scenes like this. I mean, where it's just all
explosions,
real effects, real explosions, real guys risking their lives to get this on film. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an awesome,
I agree.
Action shot scene at the very end. I mean, it's just...
This is the scene I remember seeing on TV for the commercials for the movie before it came out, when the trucks jumping through the explosions and shit.
And you got
everything's
these, like,
blowing
earth movers
up
that are crushed, and they're trying to crush them, and it's just... Yeah, it's
machine guns and
guys on dirt bikes, right, and just flying around,
big
and
monster trucks. I'm
monster
thinking,
trucks.
I think they even made the comments like, "How many cars does this guy own?"
It's awesome though, man.
No, I
it's
agree.
one of the best. Because after that, everything kind of slowed down, and we didn't get as many action scenes, and because no one's going to spend that kind of money on action scenes as much. They're going to do it CGI now, and so it's never you're just not going to see those kind of things anymore. It sucks, but that's the way it is. Mm-hmm. And so they like I said, the truck winds up getting squished in between these two earth movers at the very end, the RV. Mm-hmm. And the whole time the Q is on there going, not a scratch, right?
Yeah.
Not
it's it's a prototype.
It's a prototype. Don't hurt it.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Insurance.
It's like, what is that noise?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they crawl out as the two guys squish it, and then you still hear him talking onto the like, guys,
why aren't you talking to me?
So they finally infiltrate the guy into Palance's sort of lair, because they've taken out most of his guys.
Yeah.
And the whole time Palance is watching this on video screens.
Yeah, he's got the closed circuit.
The closed circuit on, so he's watching this all on TV, and he's selling it the whole time. He's selling it more than he did in Batman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
This is, when you think of Jack Palance, this is like classic over the top
Palance.
And I was actually gonna save this for a little later too, but I miss this era because those actors. I love later Jack Palance was, like you say, Batman. He was awesome, but you don't get that caliber of actor now because, like you said, he sold it off. He maybe went overboard a little bit, but
and he's only got a handful of scenes in the entire movie,
and he definitely shined.
But
all of them.
He still just did it up in every movie, every scene he was in. It's just like, and anybody that knows Palance he's just got that crazy voice, and it's just
Tango, Cash. How much money have they cost me?
I know, it's just, and of course you and I are huge Ripley's, believe it or not. I mean, that was an amazing TV show, of the 80s. If you can go back and get on YouTube and watch some of them old 80s,
Believe It or Not.
Yeah. That is those are great. Those are great. Anyway, so we got Palance. They finally infiltrate it, and he hits a self-destruct button. Kind of.
I just
have Spaceballs.
Yeah. It's fun. That's exactly what I thought when you said that. But I was like, this is another thing I was joking with the wife about is 80s, how did I frame it? Basically, it was like if you're a supervillain in the 80s, you had to have a huge lair, and you always had to have it wired for self-destruct for just this moment.
And hope to God no one hits that button on accident, you know?
And so when he did that, that's the first thing that popped in my head. Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button. This
Have a nice day.
Self-destruct in 12 minutes. It's like they're like, is that a self-destruct? Well, it's not a clock going the right way, or something along those lines. But yeah.
And so he so they take out his two henchmen. He takes out the two guys that were under him.
Yeah,
right?
his number 2,
number 2,
number 3, or number 2. I don't
So
know.
then they realize that So then they got we only got a few minutes to get this done. So they gear up again a little bit. Luckily they were nice enough to leave a bunch of guns.
Right. I think they were doing an arms deal is probably.
Because
these important guns.
Right. Yeah. So they grab some fresh guns and head out and then they have the shootout, and then
make their way to the office.
Cash gets shot. Pushing Tango out of the way.
Saving Tango.
Clean through though, so he's fine.
Which is funny too, because it was by one of the guys they literally filled full of holes as they're leaving. Then the guy has enough gumption to get up and shoot one more time, and then they just blow him away even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like Darren said, he went clean through. Don't worry, you're fine.
You're fine. Clean through.
Got a Band-Aid.
And so they look over, and here's English guy, and he's got the sister hostage. They captured the sister.
Good thing they found her.
Yeah. So they got the sister hostage, and so they wind up getting English guy to fight, sort of mano a mano, and then another guy shows up. Luckily to fight Tango.
Right, so it's not 2-on-1. It's an even fight.
It's an even fight. So luckily Tango's got his guy to take out, and Cash has his guy to take out.
Which is funny because Tango's fighting like the karate guy, random karate who comes coming in with a flying kick out of nowhere.
And so they, so they do like so Tango fights the guy, and Cash is fighting the English guy, and goes. Looks like he's going to lose, but he goes, "Hey, you didn't know about Plan C, because they've shown him Plan A, Plan B, and here's Plan C, which is to pull a grenade and put it in the guy's pants and then kick him down the hallway."
Right.
And this isn't a dud.
No, this one's real.
This one's real. Where he kicks him down the hallway, and luckily at the same time, Tango takes out his guy and kicks him down the hallway too, and they both blow up with the grenade.
Yeah.
So. Then they spin around, and the sisters now. Palance has now the sister.
This made me laugh too, because I'm like, how worthless is this woman? She gets captured once. Okay, I get it. Okay, then you're gonna run right into the arms of the other guy. Okay,
Dad, gummit.
What's the luck?
Yeah, so runs right into Palance, and so he's in this sort of hall of mirrors. All of a sudden we're at the fun house, and so we don't know which one is me, which one is
his bad guy monologue.
And so he's,
how dare you both? Yeah.
So
am I over here?
And so you don't know which one is he, and so they've only got one shot, And
we should mention too, the clock is ticking on the plant destruction.
Yeah,
they're up against the wall,
right? And Palance is just cool to just stand there.
Yeah,
he doesn't care the place is going to blow.
Right.
So, so luckily they both go, I know, and he goes, I know too. They know which one is the real Palance and which is just mirrors, So they go, 1, 2, 3, and boom, they both shoot. Tango has a gun in his hand, and Cash, of course, has his boot shotgun. And drops to the floor and shoots him. And they both shoot at the exact same time.
Yep.
And they said they're going to shoot to wound him.
Yeah.
Right? We wanted to take
go for
him,
the knees.
Go for the knees. And of course, they both shoot him right in the forehead.
Yep. Oh, my sights are off. Yeah,
and
mine
they both
too.
go, my sights are off, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So now they got to rescue Terry Hatcher. And
of course, she's not conscious at the time too.
Right. Yeah.
But then she's like miraculously wakes right back up to make the final sprint out of there.
She's out. Yeah. She's out cold. So they got to grab her, and and so he's. they get them out of there, and
the slow countdown too, and they're running for their lives.
They start running, and it's the classic, 5, 4, 3, and then all of a sudden the whole building just goes up, and they do the dive forward, any action 80s. Well, that's clearly the only survive a building exploding is if you dive forward.
Go with the momentum, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Just roll, tuck and roll.
Yeah.
And so the whole place goes up, and they're kind of roll to the ground, and they're all kind of standing there watching this place kind of burn to the ground, and they have a little back and forth. We're
like, well, how did you know which one it was? Oh, it was the ring. Oh, how did you know? Oh, the monogram was backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us, aren't we smart?
Yeah. So they both came up with different ways to figure out that which Palance was real and which
the
Palance,
real one.
which was the real Palance. So they both are super cops, and so they both kind of go, well, I'm gonna, I'm looking forward to being the number one cop, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be the number one cop still, and they kind of do a back and forth still, and he says, I'm still gonna date your sister, and she's sitting right there and doesn't she doesn't say, like, excuse me, like, I'm kind of in charge of my own life right now. Like, you guys aren't really in charge of me. I'm a grown woman in my 20s.
Like, maybe you should ask me.
Maybe you should ask me, not my brother. Right. So they both decide, like, he goes, over my dead body, and he goes, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
And they kind of smile, and they do a big high five, and
so he pans back with what was it? The newspaper, cops redeemed, and everything. Everything is back to normal.
And they were able to prove their innocence. Yeah. And they're back kicking butt in the Los Angeles greater
Which
area.
is funny because this is another topic we're discussing when we're watching this is she's like, I think I brought it up. It's like, that's the great thing about 80s movies is you don't get the, okay, well, now what? Because literally they killed all the witnesses. They destroyed almost all the evidence. They've basically left a trail of destruction behind them. And now they're, okay, yeah, you're fine. You broke out of prison,
Well, and they didn't believe him to begin with.
Right, yeah, so.
But now we're okay because we got 2 of these witnesses that said, yeah, I lied.
Right.
So, okay, well, the whole,
Yeah, and so all this death and destruction, which, again, I try not to overthink 80s movies, but it is funny to think of, like, movies nowadays. Or, when we talk about the next one, there's a lot in there that they couldn't do nowadays, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But for this one, it's like, yeah, the destruction, and now, okay. And I love the newspaper, they always have it wasn't the spinning newspaper, which would have made me even more happy than, but it's, cut back, there's a newspaper, they're holding hands, cops redeemed, and everything is great. But, this movie is definitely always on my watch list. I will say the first time I saw it, I loved it, and then I didn't watch it for a long time for whatever reason. And then I watched it many years after the fact, and it didn't really, like, maybe time had gone on or I changed or whatever, but I was like, I never really disliked it, but I didn't love it as much. And then so I didn't watch it for many years, and then I watched it again. And it's funny, after watching it like the 3rd or 4th time, that's when I really started to appreciate it. And every time I watch it now, so I guess sidetrack, when I was with my wife trying to think of doing this podcast, I was just randomly watching Stallone movies. My wife didn't like Stallone because she thought of the muscle Rambo, the blood him up, no substance. Right. So this is the movie I introduced her to. Oh. Like, okay, well, just watch Tango and Cash. It's not, because she always thought every movie Stallone did, he was Rambo Stallone.
Right.
And that's the stereotype he had. And so this is the movie I introduced her to, and she enjoyed it. And I actually really was like, oh, wow, I forgot how good, like we've said, the chemistry was phenomenal. The movie's good. I mean, it's not great, but it's a great 80s action movie. Yeah. And then so I watched it. We watched it a couple years ago. I watched it shortly after that. And then I just watched it last night for this recording. And yeah, this movie is... Like I say, I wish these guys would have done more to get. It didn't have to be a sequel. Yeah. It could have been anything. Yes.
Yeah, and I heard that he wanted him for the second Avengers.
Oh, the Expendables.
Expendables, sorry, not Avengers. Expendables. He had a spot for him for the second Expendables, but Kurt Russell was doing the Quentin Tarantino stuff, and so he couldn't
get away to do
couldn't
that.
do it or something like that. And
Yeah.
but I 100% agree with you. I can't believe in the 90s
Right.
these guys didn't come together to make another.
Because they had some lulls in the night, especially Stallone.
Especially Kurt Russell after Escape from L.A., which
yeah.
I
think the least said about that is the best.
Exactly, and that's all we need to say about that. No, but if they would have done something about like around that time,
Yeah.
it could have maybe revived something, or done. But yeah, I don't know why those guys didn't do something. I mean, this is what drives me crazy about Hollywood is when two actors do great like chemistry together. Like, let's put them in more stuff together.
Yeah.
Let's do this more.
And this was a hit too. It made a lot of money.
It made a lot of money. And it's like you said, it's a pretty paint by numbers story. Cops get,
wrongfully
accused, got to clear their name.
Yep.
Bad guys are pretty cut and dry. I mean, it's all pretty much it's pretty much a paint by numbers. But the reason this movie is so good is because you got so many good actors in it, number one. And number two, it's their chemistry that they're back and forth. They're sort of, razzing each other, that whole thing. And of course it's the classic city guy, country guy, or whatever. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, Simon and Simon. The one is, champagne and cocktails. The other guy is beer and chips.
Which is funny because there's a scene too where Ray's lieutenant's like, Ray, why do you do this? You're a millionaire and you buy stocks. And he's like, I do it because I want to save the city, or just some sort of gallant, cowboy.
Right.
Which is funny too, because I think at this time, and I could be wrong, but I want to say this was maybe a different characters for Stallone to play at this part of his career, because like we say, he did Rambo, he did Rocky, he did,
And I think that, and I think I heard his brother talk about this on Corolla. I think he said something like this was like the closest that his brother actually was to him real self. He wears his glasses. He needs, those are his real glasses.
His real glasses, yeah.
He always wore contacts, I guess, and that's, and those, I'm sure he, and you see Stallone like out in the wild and when he's, he is wearing more, suits and nicer clothes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not, so I think this is more of a real
closer to
the real person that Stallone is.
Yeah, no, I thought he was awesome. Like I say, and I thought Kurt Russell was awesome too. So it's
they're both awesome.
Yeah. So so that was Tango and Cash. All right, now it's time to go across the street and check out what Mr. Schwarzenegger has to offer us this week. We're going to talk about 1990's Kindergarten Cop, which we'll give the Rotten Tomatoes real quick. It is, I guess, rotten with the critics at 54%. Looks like it's rotten with the audience too at 52%.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, that's before we really get into it, I saw this movie in the theater.
Well, I remember this movie being very popular. So,
and I enjoyed it the first time. I mean, it's not his best. I can understand him doing a little, which I was going to kind of save this for the end, but I'll bring it up now, is both these movies, we kind of see a change of what they're normally doing, Right. So we see Schwarzenegger in a different light, and like we saw Stallone in a different light with Tango and Cash. So
this is, we have an action comedy versus an action family comedy, more of a family comedy. Yeah. Right. Because this was aimed more towards a family action genre, get the whole family there,
right?
Something for everybody.
Yeah.
And then the Tango and Cash is more for the adult type, teenager type, older.
Yeah, like I think
it's not for kids.
You nailed it, the action comedy, and that's definitely what it was. But no, this one, like I say, I never disliked it. It was never really on my I have to watch Kindergarten Cop list. But I enjoy. Like I say, I saw it in the theater. I may have saw it twice. I think it went to the discount. And I'm like, I'll spend $1 on Kindergarten Cop. But
yeah, I think I don't think I saw it in the theater, but I know I saw it on VHS or whatever it was, or that would probably have been DVD. I don't know, probably still VHS actually.
I think 1990.
Yeah, that would have been VHS. Yeah, so Matt's dad, like I said, was
bringing home.
He could bring home he could get first choice on all the brand new, because back then every gas station had a video store in it.
Man, I miss those times.
As a secondary sort of way to make money. So
yeah, no kidding. I didn't even think about that. That how widespread VHS were available. Like you say, grocery stores, gas stations, and of course, video stores.
And video stores themselves.
Yeah.
But everybody tried to get in on that trend.
Yeah, home entertainment was thriving.
Huge. And so, I mean, just think how much, because, now the streaming services are, billionaires or whatever. And it's all, that money went to them instead of where it was going before.
Right, it's funny, before, just a couple days ago, the wife and I were thinning out our DVD collection, going through stuff that was like, maybe. And I came up with 3 boxes of just stuff that I'll describe as buying on a whim. I may never see it again. And if I really want to, I could probably find it on streaming. So I drop it off at the Goodwill store. And as I'm giving it to the guy, he's like, wow, DVDs, I don't even watch DVDs anymore. And I was like, yeah, I remember when DVDs were king, I mean, it was the new digital. And
this,
it's just funny.
They were worth money. You could take them anywhere.
Yeah.
You could get, 10, if you were hard up for cash, you go sell them off.
Yeah, which is funny you should bring that up, because the wife was like, well, instead of just giving them away, why don't we take them to the pawn shop? And I was like, well, if you want to do that, we're talking about, let's say about 150 that we had thinned out. And we're sitting at about 1,000. So we have it's huge.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, if you want to go and take them into the pawn shop and have them flip through, Halloween 7? Okay, I mean, let's say on a good day, they may give me $5, maybe 10.
Yeah.
No, it's not worth it for me to sit there for them to,
No. So, that was a primary way of watching the movies was on the VHS when this particular one came out, and or HBO. Like I said, that was our streaming service back then. So, but compared to Tango and Cash, this is definitely a lot more kid friendly.
Yeah.
A lot more family orientated. This originally was meant for Bill Murray, so obviously it meant to be more of more of a comedy in the original than action comedy. I'm sure when Schwarzenegger signed up, they said, okay, well, we got to get this thing a little rewritten, but Bill Murray turned it down. He wanted because obviously this is directed by Ivan Reitman, and this is the second Ivan Reitman Schwarzenegger collaboration, that we've talked about, twins. So, and this is the second time they've gotten together. Apparently, Christian Slater was offered the main role of the bad guy.
Really? Interesting.
But he didn't want to get typecast as a bad guy.
As a bad guy, huh?
So, unfortunately, maybe he should have gone
with
the typecast, because still be working a day, pal.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I mean, some people aren't meant to be leading men. Hey, should have just leaned into it and been the bad guy. Because he would have been a great bad guy for a lot of movies. Geez, he could have made $1 million being a bad guy.
And he was the guy in 1990.
He wanted to be the good guy. So
interesting. That would have been interesting to see Christian Slater.
I think he would have been great,
because I love the bad guy that they ended up getting. I thought he was great. I always thought the first time I saw it, I couldn't distinguish the actor from the character. That's how good he was.
Yeah.
So,
and that, he was, the guy who actually plays the bad guy, Crisp. His name is
Richard Tyson.
Richard Tyson, and I remember him. I was like, man, I've seen that guy before in a movie. I couldn't really put my finger on it, and I realized he was in a movie called 3 O'Clock High. Did you ever see that movie? That's a very obscure movie, but
no, I never saw that one.
That's great.
Is it?
I haven't seen it in 30 years. So,
okay,
let me premise it with that.
Right.
Okay.
So at the time you saw it, it was great.
When I was a kid, it was great. It's about a kind of a nerd, and the guy, he bumps into a guy, and a big tough guy, and he's going to kick his ass at 3 o'clock.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
And the bad guy is Crisp. So anyways,
I remember him because he was in the Fairley Brothers. He was in Kingpin. He was the strip club when Randy Quaid takes off from Woody Harrelson and ends up in the strip club. He's the guy who's like, nobody leaves a shift early, and
right. Okay. Yeah.
I believe he was in a couple other the Fairley Brothers movies too. But
good. I'm glad to. Yeah. I'd have to. I haven't seen Kingpin in a million years either. So, so the game Silent Hill, they might have based the either this one of their video games on the high school that this is, or I'm sorry, the elementary, not high school, elementary school.
Yeah.
That this is, and obviously we are in Astoria. This is, where Goonies and Short Circuit were filmed.
That masterpiece.
So, this is a great love story to Astoria, though.
Yeah. No, the scenery was awesome. The scenery, he shot
really,
on location.
Yeah, he shoots it really great. And that's such behind the curtain. My grandparents owned a house in Seaside, Oregon, which is only 15 whatever minutes down the road.
Nice.
And so we spent many hours in Astoria. So we start. And of course, this started a trend of movies that were sort of like, let's take the tough guy and put him in a softer sort of situation.
Yeah, the fish out of water. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was the tough guy playing like a more. So, because it worked, this movie worked, so they tried it a million different ways and a million different times.
Yeah, it made $202 million.
So blame this movie if when you're watching The Pacifier with
right or Cop and a Half with Bruce or Burt Reynolds. Or even Kindergarten Cop 2 with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. So okay, well, so we start off. We're in the mall. And it's the classic 1980s mall. I miss seeing that 80s mall. I mean, the more you see malls in movies, the more you miss
and
them,
one thing I miss seeing that I didn't realize until watching this movie was Chris is smoking a cigar the whole time he's walking around the mall, just like puffing away on the cigar.
That was like the last year you could basically smoke indoors. I mean, right after that is when, they shut that down everywhere.
No more health conscious.
Everywhere. Yeah. It was a few sort of started out that were like that, but then after that, it was like pretty much
very widespread.
Everywhere. So, and now is that the same mall that they shot Commando in? It almost looked like I was like, wait a minute.
Of course, back then malls were very identical, similar. So
it's hard to say. I don't know. You'd have to
because they are in Los Angeles. So
that's what I thought. I'm like, they probably just went to the same mall.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
And of course, Schwarzenegger's in sort of like a trench coat with these little round '90s glasses.
The John Lennon glasses.
The little round, dark sunglasses.
5 o'clock shadow, just hair all a mess. Just looks like he looks pretty intimidating, actually.
So of course, and he is named John Kimball this time instead of
John Matrix.
John Matrix.
So the second go around as John.
The second John. Well, what was his name in Predator? Okay, we'll have to get back to that because I'm not sure.
It was Dutch.
Dutch Matrix or Dutch Matrix, right?
Let's see.
I'm sorry. No,
I don't think
Matrix was Commando. I'm getting too many names. Sorry. We'll just stick to the script here. Sorry. Anyways, so we see Crisp walking around the mall, and Crisp has a killer sort of mullet / 90s. I was like, that was the best time for hair in the entire world. Was the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
I mean. We created our own hairstyles. They look goofy now, but man, they were originals.
Yeah,
like, we weren't copying anybody. Like
they were rocking them too.
We had the best hairstyles then, and this was the best. So, so we see Crisp walking around with his ponytail, and
he had a pretty gorgeous head of hair too. I'll say,
and. He has access to the, all of a sudden he just opens up a mall door and just walks into the back behind the mall.
Yeah, the classic employees only.
Yeah, employees only, just no locked, no nothing, just walk back there. And of course, Kimball follows him. And, we see Mr. Crisp meets with some sort of low-level guy, one of his low-level guys, some guy, classic junky-looking dude, and gets the info from him about where his kid and his ex-wife are, and of course he does the classic, kills him. But what he didn't realize is that the junkie guy stuffed his girlfriend in a cardboard box right before that.
Yeah.
and she sees everything.
Yeah, the classic. Oh, he's offering, let's say, $50,000 for information. Well, the guy's going to squeeze him for 100. And of course, I loved it where the guy's like, "Yeah, that'll cost you," and he's like, "Just tell me where my family is, and you'll be fine." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, we could do. How about $200,000?" He's like, "Just tell me, and I'll take care of you." Oh, the 50's fine. 50's fine. And then he tells him, and like you said, he just blows him away. It's like,
yeah, it was like. Yeah, I think we've kind of seen this one. And if this junkie didn't see that, then man, he hasn't watched enough movies.
Right.
So.
Totally. Yeah, it was pretty commonplace back then. So
he didn't see that setup.
I'm going to squeeze the mob guy for more money. Yeah, that's always a smart move.
Yeah, well, I'm by myself, and we're in a
right.
a dark,
nobody knows I'm here.
Yeah, no one knows I'm here. We're in the dark
I should be
recesses
fine.
of the mall.
I'm going to walk away a rich man.
Nothing will go wrong. So of course he kills him, and the witness, she sees everything, and then Crisp, like every bad guy does, he goes up to the hairdresser where his mom is getting her hair done, and he sits down for a pedicure.
Yeah,
classic bad guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
this guy is just so smooth.
If you haven't seen this trope a million times, so it turns out that his mom is sort of like a Ma Barker or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
She's in on she's just as bad. She's maybe calling the shots. We're not exactly sure what's going on. So, but luckily, Kimball shows up to arrest Crisp. But of course, since he's in a trench coat and round sunglasses, very much Cabretti,
mm-hmm.
Cobra style.
Yeah.
Doesn't wait for backup, and everybody mistakes him for the bad guy because he's got his gun drawn on him.
And I love they have armed security guards at the mall.
Yeah, totally. And he's flashing a badge, saying I'm a cop, and they won't believe him. So he goes, and they he gets arrested, and they try to get the witness to cooperate. She won't cooperate. She's like, "Nope, I'm not going to cooperate at all. I'm not going to do anything. I'm done." So
she's like, "I hardly knew the guy." And he's like, "Your boyfriend just got killed." "I hardly knew the guy."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Yeah.
So they decide, all right, well, so he meets another detective, a gal, that's going to help him on this next investigation. So he kind of says, "Nah, I don't want to be partners."
Yeah, he's the classic. I work alone.
I work alone. So he takes off to go do whatever he's got to go do, and parks in front of a place, and a couple guys start looking at his car sort of sideways. So he decides the best thing to do is to beat up both of them.
Yeah.
And then pull a gun on the other guy.
Yeah.
And then say, "I like my car."
Yeah, just total Cobra.
Totally very Cobretti style right there, And of course they're like, "Yeah, man, no problem," And, as he's walking away, they're talking schmack to him.
Yeah, you better walk away.
Yeah. So he goes into this sort of underground club. It's the classic 80s underground club with the chain link everywhere and sort of like biker guys looking like everywhere, and, it's a classic underground club that always has lots of people. So
yeah, like 3:00 in the afternoon too.
And so he just starts blowing away stuff with his shotgun as he just says, "I'm a cop, so I can literally just discharge my weapon.
This is okay."
Inside of an establishment, no warrant or anything, and just start blowing up stuff. And they ask what he's doing, and he says, "I'm the party pooper."
Mm-hmm.
So of course, that's he's got him. So
yeah, you can't. What argument do you have with that?
What do you got with that?
Throw your hands up and surrender. Okay.
There's no legal talk beyond
well,
that.
you got us there. Here's our drugs.
So he's strong-arming the witness, trying to get her to cooperate, and says he's got no place to go, and he'll just keep harassing her. So she gives in, and they finally get everybody in the lineup, and she picks out Crisp out of the lineup, and boom, they got Crisp in court, and they got the arraignment, and he's going to jail. if they can prove the case. Well, what they want to do is they want to locate Crisp's wife. First he has a big conversation with Crisp in the back, where he kind of roughs him up a little bit, and then Crisp explains, "You've been chasing me for years.
You'll never get me.
I know everything about you, cop.
Yeah,
and you know everything about me.
Yeah,
we're muy simpatico.
You cannot live without me.
You need me."
Which I think we need to preface real quick too is the rumor is that Crisp's ex-wife had stolen from him an amount of like $2 million, and that's what they think that he's going after.
Right. So they think that, well, Crisp obviously is going to go try to, get his wife.
Yeah.
He's trying to kill his wife to get this money back. Because, I know you, Crisp, and I know the way you think. And so they sort of have this psychological sort of back and forth sort of nemessary thing going.
Yeah.
And so, he says, "No, I'm going to... so they sort of have this sparring back and forth, and he realizes, okay, well, I got to go try to,
Yeah, we got to try to get the wife to
got to try to get the wife. So
state's evidence or whatever.
Yeah, so he hooks up with his new partner. He gets assigned with her, and they have to go to Astoria to locate Crisp's ex-wife. So his new partner, her whole thing is that she eats.
Yeah. She eats a lot.
She likes to eat. That's her thing. She eats.
So hope this doesn't come into play.
Yeah. It's pretty much, that's her only thing that she does. She likes to eat. So they, so they go, okay, well, we're going to team up, and she's going to be the kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, she's going undercover.
You're going to be her husband, and you guys are going to go and try to infiltrate and see, if you can find Crisp's wife and his son. Because we know they're in Astoria, we just don't know what name they're hiding under.
Yeah, and they have no picture. The only picture of the kid is like he's days old,
right,
and the kid's like 6.
Right, and they've changed their name, but we know they're in Astoria.
Yeah.
So okay, so they decide that they're going to go to this one elementary school in Astoria and hope that the kid is in this one elementary school. Now, I don't know if Astoria has more than one elementary school in 1990 or 89 or whatever it was. Maybe they do, but maybe they don't.
Right,
I'm assuming a town that big has more than one elementary school.
Yeah, you would think, but I guess for movie purposes, there's just the one.
It's the 1930s, and this is the Waltons. We only have one school in the entire town.
The one room school.
This is 1936. So, okay, so he goes, so on the way on the plane, she's eating all sorts of whatever junk food and everything else under the sun, and these little kids behind him are annoying him. They're kind of hitting the thing, and they're playing with
kicking his chair,
and they're playing with the toy and all this stuff. And he turns around and tells the kid, you do it again, I'm going to break your neck. Basically,
this is what I'm going to do to you. Snaps the pencil.
So clearly, he doesn't like kids, and he's not a easygoing guy.
Right.
So
he's not Mr. Friendly.
And So, of course, all of a sudden, she gets sick on the plane, because that's how food poisoning works. So she gets sick on the plane, and she's, they get her into the car, and she's, looking like hell. She's, puking. She's running to the bathroom constantly. The whole drive from the airport to Astoria, she's, which is, going to be Portland to Astoria, which is going to be about an hour drive. But yeah, so she's not having a good time. And the next morning, which is crazy timing on this, how they decided that the very next day that after they show up, they were going to have him show up to as a teacher.
Yeah.
Well, she can't make it because she's too sick. So now he is the teacher.
Yep. Clean shaven, and he puts on a nice shirt and
a suit, and he looks,
how hard could it be?
Yeah. And so so we get to the elementary school there, right in the heart of Astoria. Of course, the great and beautiful Penelope Ann Miller shows up as a teacher at this school that he is going to be working at, and they sort of lock eyes and are like, wow, and so.
And she gives him the line. It's like, kindergarten is like the ocean. Never turn your back on it.
Yeah. Because, and so he goes into the principal's office and she says, I know you're a cop.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That was, no, you're right.
Yeah.
That was that later.
Yeah. I know you're a cop and you got to tell me why you're here. He's like, I can't tell you why I'm here.
Right.
Even though I'm a cop from a whole nother state.
Yeah. Completely out of my jurisdiction.
Completely out of my jurisdiction. I'm sure there's no local police at all working with me, and I am on,
They don't know why I'm here, so.
And I'm not even a Fed, so
best
I'm not
that you
really
keep
sure.
it that way too. Yeah.
So I can't tell you, top secret, even though the principal probably should know things like this. I doubt they're going to go talk. Anyways, so she says, well, are you a teacher? He says, yep, I've taught kids before. She's like, all right, go for it. So he shows up and starts teaching, and obviously we got, starts off with, he's trying to help this little girl. He can't, she's got to go to the bathroom and he goes running across to Penelope Ann Miller, and then he meets, they talk for the first time and she helps him out and, gives him the advice.
Yeah.
So, he goes back and then the whole class is chaos.
Yeah,
just pure chaos.
Just
the whole class is going nuts.
20 kids ripping, or 25-year-olds doing whatever.
Yeah, they're just going nuts. And of course, he screams the classic line that, that one was the total trailer on this movie, shut up! And just, screams it, and classic trailer. And of course, all the kids start crying.
Yeah.
So he runs out, and for some reason, he's got a ferret in the back of his car.
Right.
Brings out a ferret, and they're all amazed by this ferret. And of course, that started the ferret craze of the early 90s when everybody on the planet seemed to have a damn ferret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone tried talking me into getting a ferret once, and I'm like, why? They're great. No, I'm good.
I mean, it literally crossed my mind for 5 minutes to buy a ferret too. It was such a craze to have ferrets.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Anyways, no one has a ferret anymore. So he gets the day done, and for some reason, this little precocious kid's got to break down the game film of the day to him.
Yeah, that's right.
And it explains to him how he didn't do so good, and that his mom's better, and all this stuff.
My
and
T-ball coach Gus, he's better than you. Thanks, kid.
Just tells him the whole, almost reminds me of Bruce's Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
Bruce's little kid character, who's just a little annoying little kid. So he gets home and he just passes straight out, like he's just worked a, 12-hour day. Just can't even, because the kids wore him out, And, so the gal, his partner, still sick, still in the hotel room, just goes, well, yep, you're passed out. It's a good day or something like that.
They did, which I think we should say, that's Pamela Reed playing his partner.
Correct.
The great Pamela Reed.
Pamela Reed. She's been in many movies and 80s TV shows and was a mom in many shows as well. Yes. So, of course he goes in the next day and, all the moms want a piece of him. All the single moms want a piece of him.
Yeah.
And of course you have the gal who was George's.
Yep. Susan Ross.
Susan Ross was George's.
Heidi Swenson, I believe, is her name.
Yeah. And then you had.
Swenberg, sorry.
And then you had the gal who was, Hope. Hope
Parker.
Hope Parker was in Empty Nest and some of these other shows like that,
That's right.
So, anyways, so all the single moms, and apparently it's the single mom capital of America. We later get told that
it's tell the kids, they tell their moms about this new kindergarten teacher, and so they want to check it out, and they're like, oh, he must be gay, and all of a sudden you see Schwarzenegger walking up with the polo tied around the arms, and they're just like, oh my god,
So they're all in love, and they're all running trying to get, and the kid comes up and goes, are you single? And he goes, yeah. And she runs back, he's single, mom.
Yeah, that always made me laugh.
Yeah. So, and so, then he starts to try to figure out, okay, who's who, what's going on here?
Doing that. What does your dad do?
Right. Well, at first he meets with a gal, and she's kind of a blonde-looking, sort of a rich-looking blonde gal, and she says her husband's not, and she looks sort of rough around the edges a little bit. Yeah, she kind of
has that mob wife look to her.
Exactly. And she, so obviously you're thinking, well, this has got to be, if Crisp is married to anybody, it's got to be this gal, and so he's thinking this has got to be it right off the bat, and
the old Kathy Moriarty there.
Yeah, and so you're thinking the whole time, well, it's got to be this gal.
Yeah,
and so
his eyes light up for a moment. Yeah. This is easy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she says that her husband left her for another man. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't. Then he thinks, well, maybe not. So, but we don't know exactly.
Swing and a miss.
And so, so now he starts to ask the kids, like, what does your parents do? Tell me about your what's going on? And the kids are going crazy. He's like, what? Their kid's like, what's wrong? And he says, I have a headache. And then, of course, the another classic line out of this is, maybe it's a tumor.
Yeah.
And it's,
it's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor, which is one of the most classic. I mean, that was.
Oh yeah.
Everybody said that.
Oh yeah. I still say that to this day.
Everybody said that in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of the biggest sayings you had. So. So the kids are talking about their dads and what their dads do, and that is one of the funniest things of this entire
I agree.
movie.
Yeah,
all the stuff that their dads, it is really funny.
Yeah,
I mean that
whole,
holds up.
Yeah,
that holds up to this day. It is
I agree.
Classically funny.
Those kids' response, were my dad lays around and watches TV all day, or our mom says our dad's a real sex machine.
Those are hilarious. Yeah.
Of course, we forgot too when he was still talking to the kid. That first kid stands up and goes, "Boys have a penis and girls have a vagina." That's like his line through the movie.
And he says, "My dad's a gynecologist.
He looks at vaginas all day long."
Really funny. So that's good. That's funny. So apparently they decide to hit the fire alarm on his second day, and she knowing he's a cop that we're gonna hit that fire alarm. So he gets and he grabs the kids and he kind of drags them all out, and he's the last one out, and they're saying like, well, all these kids would have died, but everybody else, all the other kids are out here in record time, like record time,
right?
So so he's got to work on it. So one of his kids has some problems. He's kind of talking to his kid, and his kid's really shy and looking away. And he's like, well, maybe this is the kid, and he won't talk to him. And he tries to talk to his mom, and she drives off really super fast, won't even talk to him. And he's running behind her. So he's thinking, well, this has got to be it. The mom's hiding him. The kid's really upset that, this is the kind of kid, this has got to be it. So goes back and talks to his partner, which is now completely fine, 100% fine.
Yeah. 2 days later.
2 days later, good, I'm good.
Yeah.
And is very hungry again, of course, wants to go eat. Like, let's go eat dinner. Let's go here and there. And so they decide to go out to dinner, and his partner on the his partner is supposed to be posing as his wife, and they meet the Penelope Ann Miller character at they just bump into her at the restaurant. And the partner decides at that instant that no, this gal and my partner, they need to hook up.
Right.
They
got that chemistry.
She just saw it right off the bat. And so she tells instantly, she just goes, I am Austrian and I am his sister, and makes up this Austrian accent and does that,
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a cop can get to do a good Austrian accent.
Just gonna pull it right out of the bag.
Mm-hmm. So,
the classic, do you want to join us for dinner? No. Yes, we would love to.
So they sit and have dinner, and of course they're chit-chatting away, and, partner thinks, haha, yep, I did it. I got you guys together. And he's like, oh, I don't want to be with anybody, and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And then he starts talking about, well, these kids don't listen to me. So she goes, all right, well, now you got to whip them into shape, right?
Yeah.
So he becomes a hard ass.
Which we should quickly preface is the mother there is the woman is the mother of the kid that told Schwarzenegger he sucked on the first day, which that'll come into play. So he runs into the same son and the mother.
Penelope Ann Miller is the precocious mother of the precocious little kid that
told him she's better than you. Yeah,
told him
that's
that
his mom.
That didn't know what he was doing. So he becomes a hard ass.
Yeah.
He's like a drill instructor. He starts training them all, hitting the whistle, making them do this, do that, running them.
Just the classic 90s montage.
Yeah, montage. Then he, whipping them into shape and all, they're doing push-ups and running the track and, whatever, and gets them all. Now all of a sudden they're good little,
they're perfect angels.
And all the other teachers are looking, going, "Oh my gosh, look what he's done in 3 days."
3 days. These kids listen to him.
And so, so he, and so they're all, they're getting him into shape, and they're all bonding with him, and they're all liking him and stuff. So he reads him a poem that he was going to read to his son, or did read to his son, or something like that. And next thing you know, they all go to sleep, and knocks them all out with this boring poem, apparently. And he has a dream, which was clearly a dream, and he all of a sudden, poof, wakes up. Or the dream was of crisp shooting into the school.
Yeah.
And so he wakes up with the jolt, and Penelope Ann Miller is in his office or in his schoolroom or his classroom, whatever, and she's asking him out on a date, and it's that's always how it goes, right? The teachers always come right in.
Very forward back in the 90s.
So she says, "Come over to my house for dinner." So he goes, okay. So he heads home to change his clothes and whatever, and he hears a noise in his hotel room, and his partner's in there, and here's his partner making all sorts of noise, Clearly I knew what the noises were, but he didn't, so he busts in, and she's getting naked with her boyfriend or whatever. And of course, twist, he's a chef.
Yep, he's a world-renowned chef.
So the person that likes to eat is with a chef. Wah, wah. So so the nervous mom doesn't want to talk to him still. So she finally talks to him and tells him that, my husband, has a problem, and he kind of, smacks me and my son around a little bit, and, but he's getting treatment. So he's in therapy. He's in therapy, and, so don't get the school involved, and don't do anything, please, and, he won't do it again. And so he goes, okay, fine. I'll keep it under my hat. So, so of course the witness is in a sort of a Asian market or something like that, and buys some drugs from a guy, and apparently it's from the mom. The mom has given this guy some drugs to give to the witness somehow, partner. So and
that's pretty much the end of the witness there.
Well, yeah, the witness wanders off and does the drugs. And obviously,
dead.
So of course, before he goes on his dinner, though, the partner buys Kimball some wine and flowers to so he can go good with his date. Yeah. With this teacher, even though he's undercover looking for a murder. A killer's wife and his son. But
here he is making kissy time with somebody.
Let's go and try to date this teacher for some reason, even though she thinks I'm a teacher and I'm an undercover cop. Those
always work out well.
And it's always when you lie to them to begin with, it's always going to be a good relationship. Yep. So they go on a date, and I think the house is the same house from Short Circuit.
Kind of looks like it.
It's huge.
Yeah, I don't remember Short Circuit.
Right. Well, I was going to say, I haven't seen that in a million years either, but I think it's the same house because I just remember it looked kind of like the same Victoria, but they're all kind of that style anyways. He goes out, but before he's got to go, the little kid takes him out on a little adventure. Yeah. So he goes wandering around the yard with the kid, and kid shows him the tower. And talks some sort of cryptic stuff about his dad.
He's got these tinfoil little lasers. He calls them lasers, to protect the bad people. And he's like, I put these lasers out to protect us. And he points to the radio tower. I need to put a laser up there to protect us. And
from my dad being able to find us or something like that. So then his eyes all of a sudden are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so he thinks maybe this could be maybe she's it. This is crazy. Because she's so.
Totally the big house that she can't afford. And
right. Oh, and she's, so he starts to, think, well, maybe this is it. So he goes, kid goes, what are you doing? He goes, I'm lost. This house is so big, so big that I couldn't find my way around, so, and he's pretty much convinced it's her, but the partner's like, no, it's not her. She doesn't have the money. She doesn't know, there's nothing. And so he goes, and she's like, you want it to be her because you're falling in love with her and you're just scared to fall in love with her, so. And of course, they meet up school the next day after the date, and she's like, talking to him, and clearly she's falling in love with him, though. Penelope Ann Miller, is falling in love with Kimball. So, so then, of course, the troubled kid comes to school, and he's got bruises on him. He kind of pats him on the back and he winces, and he's like, "Oh no, man!" And he pulls down his shirt a little bit and says, "Bruises." Goes out, the mom starts, oh no, he fell down the stairs. And of course, for some reason, the dad's with him.
It just happens to be there that day.
And luckily, wrong day for dad to carpool because, Schwarzenegger decides that it's, I'm going to get a little even with him.
I'm going to fight violence with violence here.
Gets him a couple punches in the gut. And was going to really, clean his clock. And
the whole school's watching, too.
And then also the whole school decides to walk out at that moment. And he's like, whoops, I should not do that. So, and so she, she, of course, she gets pulled in the principal's office because this happens. And the principal says, hey, I've checked you out, and you are not a teacher.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably why he's a cop, But anyways, so she still doesn't know what's going on. He's not a teacher, but she tells him, you are a good teacher.
Yeah.
Even though you're not a teacher.
Right, you're not a teacher. You've really whipped those kids into shape.
But you're a good teacher.
And what was it like punching him in the stomach off the record?
Yeah, so she's down because she knew the kid was getting abused, and it's a kindergartner. I don't know how she would have known that, but she knows that, he deserved to get a shot in the gut, and so next thing you know, smash cut to the witness is dead. Whatever the drugs the mom gave him was some sort of poison or something like that. And of course, now with no witness, the trial the whole evidence and everything's thrown out.
Yep.
So now Crisp is out of jail.
He's free to leave.
Yeah. And so now he's out doing whatever he's going to go do.
Well, he's going to go to Astoria because he wants his son.
Right. So he's going to head to Astoria. So they have a school fair, and I'm doing quotes here. And of course, this school fair is at Great Eloika Park, which is known in the Goonies, is where the restaurant was that they go into when they find the Tortellis, the Fratellis, right?
Yeah.
And so when they find their restaurant that they go into, that's also at Eloika Park. Oh. So it's a mocked up. The restaurant was a mocked up restaurant. This is a mocked up school. You can go stand right where that school event was, and it's a beautiful view.
Nice park,
it's an amazing state park right there. So just wanted to, but anyway, so they give him an award, and because he's such a good, been there a week.
Yeah, his 7-day teacher award.
Yeah, it's just boom, and so they say, hey, you've done such a great job. We're going to give you sort of like an award. And he's actually he's like
enjoying his time.
Yeah, he's really seeing like, hey, this is kind of cool. I kind of like being I kind of like these kids now.
Yeah,
and he realizes he starts liking teaching. So of course, Crisp shows up in Astoria, and he's there with his mom, and they're going to try to get this boy. So he tries to buy some sort of toy for his son at the store, and the guy's like, no, it's the last one. This guy's going to buy it, and he keeps telling the guy, well, here, I'll give you twice for it. He's like, no, I'll give you 3 times. No, I'll give you 4 times.
Right.
The guy's like, no,
my boy really wants this.
So Crisp keeps trying to buy it from this guy, and this guy won't sell him the racetrack or whatever. So, and they go outside, and he goes, hey, I told you I'll give you $200 for this thing. And the guy says, no, I still don't want to do it. So of course he just punches him, knocks him clean out, and just takes it and goes and talks to his to him about his mom.
Which it was conveniently wrapped too at the store. So he's like, I got Junior a Christmas or birthday present or whatever.
Right. So while they're there, his partner tells him about how the witness is dead, and that Crisp is on his way. He's on his way. So they're like, "Oh no," And she's like, "Well, look, we got to figure this out now. You got to press her and tell her what's going on."
Yep.
So he decides to tell her the truth, that he's a cop. They're both cops, and they know who she is and what she's done.
Yeah.
And she starts yelling, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing. I didn't take the money. There is no money.
He just wants his son.
He wants his son. There is no money, And so, for some reason, they all thought that it was after the money when he really wants the kid.
Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun.
So the Crisp and the mom start looking for the kid. They're kind of out there cruising around looking for him. And, so Kimball, so she takes off, the mom and the boy take off, and Crisp and his mom are also searching for and Kimball doesn't know where the mom and the kid went. So he goes back to her house. He's running around, and all of a sudden she comes out and says, "Where is he? I don't know where. I can't find him." They think that Crisp has him. So, but Kimball remembers, "Oh, wait, I think I know where he is," because this might have come into the plot at some point earlier. So he is going to be up at the tower. So, of course,
conveniently mentioned that earlier.
So he runs to the tower, and of course, this kid's like 40 feet up with no safety line on a 5-year-old. I'm like, that
was wild.
I don't think the kid's no sense. No, I mean, sure, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a sense of heights. Most kids at that point do, So, kid starts to fall, but gets caught on his jacket or something, and Kimball climbs up there and saves the day. But of course, they go back to her place, but she doesn't trust him anymore because he lied to her.
Yep.
Even though he just saved her kid, but
Women.
So he explains to her though that his family doesn't want him anymore. His family does. His son and his wife, ex-wife, don't want anything to do with him, and he hasn't seen him in 7 years. They have a new, whatever.
Yeah.
So of course, they kind of go back and forth, and all of a sudden they do a big kiss, the big classic 80s 90s kiss, and so. The next morning, they go to class, and they're like, "Okay, well, don't worry. We'll watch you. We'll watch the boy. Everything's cool." So she goes. The partner comes with them this time. They tell the whole class about strangers. Like, don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to strangers, And, of course, you still have the kids kind of saying kind of some funny stuff, And so, of course, Crisp... while she's telling the story, the camera pans over to see that Crisp is in the principal's office telling the principal that he's just trying to look for a school for his new son and wife that are going to move there. Tells her a lie.
Yeah.
And so the principal starts walking Crisp around, and Crisp starts looking in the window, thinks he sees his kid. He's not sure because he's not sure what his kid looks like because it's been some years since he's seen his kid. And then, of course, he sees Kimball, and he knows there's my kid.
Yep.
And there
he is.
And there's Kimball, so that's got to be my kid. So he quickly goes and starts a fire in the library because you have back then just anybody could have access to anywhere in a school.
Oh yeah, there was free range. You walk into any school.
And so pretty much. And so the kids who earlier in the week nailed their fire drill, when the fire actually happened, none of them knew what they were doing, and they all start stepping on each other and falling over each other.
Yeah, mass chaos
like you've never seen. And of course, the sprinklers finally kick in after about 25 minutes of the whole place burning down. So, might want to get those checked. So Crisp grabs the kid in the chaos, and there's smoke and everything. So Crisp grabs the kid, and he starts running through the school, and he's got him kidnapped. And the kid, he kind of pulls him in the corner, and he says, "I'm a fireman." He goes, "You're not a fireman." He goes, "I know. My own son knows me. I'm your dad." He's like, "You're not my dad," and he's like, "I'm your dad." And so that kind of finally takes off, whatever, but he grabs a hold of him, and
it's like he can't find his way out of the school. He's like, how the hell do we get out of here?
Yeah, he's kind of lost or whatever. And so at this whole time, Penelope Ann Miller, she snuck back in the school, and now his partner, the cop partner, is trying to get back in the school as well, but she can't because the fire department won't let her. Mm-hmm. And so she kind of runs around back of the school, and the mom shows up and runs her over with the car. Mm-hmm. And so then his So
I think the wife ends up they end up in the locker room, and
right.
The
So
wife
they're on the locker room together,
and
he's gonna shoot, right?
Because she's like, oh, I just want my child back.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So Penelope Ann Miller shows up with Crisp and the boy, and he's gonna kill her. Mm-hmm. And
it's like, you turned my boy against me. He doesn't even know who I am.
Right. And so and he knocks her out,
mm-hmm.
and
the old gun to the face.
Yeah, gun to the face, knocks her out, and then the kid runs away, and Kimmel shows up, and he puts the gun to his own son's head and kind of holds his son hostage.
Yeah.
And of course, the ferret comes out of nowhere, right?
Well, because when the fire alarm goes off, the kid goes and grabs the ferret and puts him in his shirt.
Oh, that's right.
So he's holding the ferret in his shirt.
He's holding the ferret in his shirt, and the ferret bites
comes out of the shirt and bites Crisp on the hand.
Yeah, because that's right. He said he never bites.
Yeah,
that was right.
That's right.
That was the whole thing is the ferret never bites. So the ferret jumps up, bites Crisp, which gets the kid free, and then Kimball's able to shoot Crisp and kill him.
Yep.
So he think, okay, we're good to go. But next thing you know, Kimball gets shot.
Yeah.
By Crisp's mom. She shows up, and he crawls into the shower, bleeding, shot. And
I think he does too. She was wanting to shoot at the mom, and he does the heroic dive.
Oh, that was okay.
And then shoots him in the shoulder.
Right,
yeah,
she shot him in the shoulder. Right.
Yeah, and then, like I say, he crawls his way to a stall or something,
into the showers or something, and he's sitting there bleeding out.
That's right.
So the mom, Penelope Ann Miller and the boy, they managed to kind of escape into another part of the locker room, and she's asking Kimball, where are they? Where are they? The Crisp's mom, where are they? And she has the gun on him, and she's about ready to kill him. She shoots 2 shots next to his head, and of course, out of nowhere, his partner shows up with a baseball bat and beats the mom.
Yeah.
And kaplowy.
You're not so tough without your car.
So they capture the mom. Crisp is dead. Kimball's taken away on a stretcher. All the kids are around him like, oh, is he going to make it? Is he
They're all traumatized. And, Mr. Kimball.
Yeah. So he's at the hospital and eating Jell-O, and they're he's recovering, and they keep saying, yeah, tough guys don't eat Jell-O or whatever.
Yeah. Busting his balls while he's in the hospital.
And of course, and then we have to have a few more bits of comedy to sort of lighten the mood. We have sort of the partner show up with her clumsy chef boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's knocking over stuff and, very much Chevy chasing the whole place around.
Yep.
And so obviously, and then he's healed up enough where he can go back to the school, and he does the slow walk back into the school, and the whole, crowd mobs him, and Penelope Ann Miller, he picks her up, even though he's walked in on a cane and he just got shot in the leg X amount of days ago. He can pick her up, sort of twirl her around.
Yeah.
And they fall in love.
They kiss, and he becomes a teacher, and they live happily ever after. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah. It, like I said, this movie's not perfect. I never thought it was, but it's fun. It's a fun movie.
It's a good family action.
For sure.
I mean,
you're
trying to combine 2 genres here, family and action.
Yeah.
And it actually worked. It's one of the few times this thing actually works. I mean, it's fun. Mm-hmm. The kids
they're not horrible.
They're not horrible.
Yeah,
most of the time I hate kid in movies.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Them too many precocious the kids in this were almost perfect. Mm-hmm. How they had them saying those lines, it was funny.
Yeah, no, they didn't seem fake. They didn't seem, because I'm with you when it comes to kids in movies. I'm just like, ugh. But these kids made me laugh more than once. The kids, like you say, I think the kids were the funniest in this whole
for
movie.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
the comedy and what they're saying and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, no, this was it was a fun watch. I mean, like I said, it's definitely not on my list. Oh, we got to watch Kindergarten Cop again.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
but
correct. Yeah. So, but for what it was, it definitely worked, and I can see why it made so much money. And because you know, it's hard to find movies that everybody can watch and enjoy, where you can have kids and have
Right.
adults. You know, which those movies used to be a lot more out there, and now they're definitely we become more specialized in all of our movies to be certain groups or certain.
Yeah.
You know, let's get this you know, this genre or this, you know, certain
Right.
age
And
bracket or something.
I think back then too, Twins definitely helped this movie become successful because they saw Arnold in a whole different, you know, because
Yes.
Twins was his first comedic role,
Right.
And they're like, oh well, if he was good in Twins, let's see how he is with kids, and
Yeah.
and he does really well with the kids too,
Yeah,
you know. So
this is a sort of the classic fish out of water story, and so it, you know, it worked on that one. It worked on the action. It worked on the comedy. So yeah, very good across the board. I think it should have been rated higher at that, but critics always critics always poo comedies. So, but I'm surprised that the audience choice isn't higher. If you know, I would suggest everybody go back and rewatch it because it's actually a pretty good.
Yeah, it still holds up pretty well.
Holds up really good. You know.
So now here's the question: is it Arnold or Stallone?
Well, for this one, because of my love of Tango and Cash, I don't know what other movie I could have, you know, would have gone up against it. I just would have beat no matter what.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure.
I love Tango and Cash so much, as we talked about before. I love the camaraderie between those two. The back and forth.
Yeah, the chemistry is just so.
And and being, you know, and this, you know, like we say, you know, one being an action comedy, one being an action sort of family movie. They are pretty similar as far as that goes. Both on the lighter side of the genre. They're not, you know, was this definitely neither one of them was Rambo or you know, First Blood or any of that stuff.
Yeah, not a whole lot of killing.
These
Tango and Cash, there's some killing, but
there's some killing, but it's more of a lighthearted killing.
You're right,
you know?
right.
It's not like
I wouldn't
the
expect
guys who deserve it. You know what I mean?
wouldn't expect a big body count in a movie called Kindergarten Cop. So there is some blood, though.
There is, yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go, or fortunately, whatever how it goes, I'm going to have to go with Tango and Cash.
Yeah, I'm with you there too, because like I say, you know, I've said it earlier when we talked about Tango and Cash is Tango and Cash is one of those movies that gets better every time I see it. Every time I think I see it, or I'm finished with it, I should say, and I like it, I'm thinking, oh, there's no way I can like it more, and then I'll watch it, you know, 4, 5, 6 months later. I'm like, okay, well, now I like it more. That I love the Stallone and Kurt Russell. Like I say, I've said it before. I wish they would have done more together. Yeah. Even now, excuse me. Even now, I would love to see those guys together.
Yeah.
You know, as an older version of something.
Yeah,
let's
figure it out and get them together.
But no, I'm with you there. It's Tango and Cash. And I agree. As we I forget off the top of my head, but there was a Arnold movie that no matter who it was against, it would have, you know, there's tough competition. This is the same thing with Stallone. There was just, what could you put against Tango and Cash that would have been, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's some that would have been closer, but for the way that this one lined up, it's definitely Tango and Cash for me as well. Yeah. Let's see if I can.
Even though the Kindergarten Cop is a solid movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So let me flip through my notes here and we'll get an official tally. While I'm doing this, we're gonna go ahead and announce that for our next one, we're gonna kind of do an offshoot, like what we did with Action Jackson. Is we're going to do a Kurt Russell movie, which I know you grew up with, I grew up with as well. We're going to talk about Big Trouble in Little China. And
yay!
So, yeah, I have not seen that movie since I was a kid. I'll just do this later, so I'm not trying to get more static or background. But yeah, we're going to do Big Trouble in Little China next month.
Yes.
Or the Arnold of Stallone.
Yes. John Carpenter, Kurt Russell. Yeah. Amazing. Kim Cattrall. Of course.
James Hong.
James Hong again.
You know, I mean.
Yes. I mean, it's a dynamite cast.
Yeah. So we figured that because Kurt Russell was so phenomenal in, Tango and Cash, that it was just right to give him a little love on the side, and we're going we're going to talk about Big Trouble in Little China. So, but then after that, we're going to get right back into the mix of it. Looking ahead, I don't want to give too much ahead. It's going to get good. It's going to get good from what we got after that. So
great.
Yeah. So like I say, I want to say thank you all for hanging with us if you've made it this far. And anything you'd like to add there?
No, just give us a like, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing.
Yeah, and if you don't know our email, it's arnoldorstallone@gmail.com. And of course, we have a website at the arnoldorstallonepodcast.com. You can reach us on that as well. And there's a YouTube channel that we've been slowly building, so check that out. I want to try to get some, maybe not some off the air stuff on there, but we're trying. So yeah, until next month, we will be talking some Big Trouble in Little China. So we'll see you then.